it's Halloween, so we're painting a horror movie for the Scene series. And I need to add a disclaimer. This is the scariest one yet. We're painting a clown, and it might just be the best painting I've ever made. But if you don't like clowns or horror, this might not be the one for you. In the description are 2 other horror movies we painted that aren't scary, so you might like them instead. Without further ado, let's do this. So, who is the clown in question? Well, this movie actually comes from this request to paint the spooky Art the Clown from the Terrifier movies. And this is the scene we're going to be painting. Just need to get the sketch perfect because the character is mostly white. So if we make any mistakes, it's going to be pretty obvious. I think we're ready. The watercolors are out as well as color pencils. Straight after the Addams Family. Mean Girls is actually on the other side because obviously this is a horror movie. We are celebrating spooky season and we need some spooky washi tape. I have some. I don't know if this is spooky enough. Ooh, what about this one? It's ghosts, cats. Maybe that'll work. The background. I think we should start with the background. Oh no, the washi, I cannot forget. We need to put this tape down and then go in with the background. The Addams Family had a purple leaning color palette. Didn't realize that the 2 of these scenes actually look quite similar. They are both quite dark color palettes. Sometimes that happens because when you picture movies, you don't think that they're gonna look alike until it comes to actually painting them, but they are both quite dark. So instead, we're gonna lean into more of a cooler blue, go a little bit further away from the purple, something like an indigo, cerulean, a little bit of turquoise. Try and make it look more different than it actually is. Because when we flip through this sketchbook, we want both of them to stand out to make them pop and make the other painting pop. So of course, the background needs to be wet. I always start with this as the first step because if you use the wet on wet technique like this, you can just pop some paint down and watch it blend together. It doesn't always work. This paper isn't cold pressed, so it can be a little bit tricky. I do notice that there's quite a bit of pooling on this paper. It's not super flat. It's not easy to work with, and it's not easy to work with in a hurry. I always have to use the hairdryer, and it tends to dry a little bit patchy because of how bumpy it goes. But we've also got a little bit of green in this background. Just trying to make it look as different as possible to the other one. And we're going to go ahead and give that a quick dry to go in with the second layer. But first we need to fix some mistakes. Because I didn't want this paper to dry on me, I went a little bit too quick and got some paint on the clown. But all we need to do is add a little bit of water and we can carefully remove that. Just activate it slightly and then dab it away with a kitchen roll. And just like that, we've got the lines back. Personally, I found this to be the best method, especially if you've only recently painted it. So the paint isn't like super deep or stained on the paper. The background is bright, it's blue, it's green, but it's not dark enough. Art the Clown is mostly white, and we really need this character to pop. It needs to look like the reference. And hopefully the blue and green that's already down is going to make it nice and vibrant. Add a little bit of colour, but it does need to be the right value. And this is closer. We don't need to dry it off immediately. There are some parts of the clown that we can add whilst the background is drying. The eyes, the mouth. There are various pieces of shadow. And this reference is unlike anything I've done before. I've never painted a portrait like this where it's not blended in the slightest. Like none of this really is wet on wet. All of it is wet on dry. The shadows are bold. They're very noticeable. Everything needs to be placed in the exact correct spot. And that's not usually how I paint. So already this is different. Oh, I think this needs splatters. I would say that this is a part of my art style, but honestly, I do often forget. I mean to add splatters to every single piece we create for the scene series, but I always forget. In this case, I think it's necessary, but it's gotten everywhere. Anyway, let's work on this clown. Let's try and build it up and make it look creepy. The movie is The Terrifier, and the reason that I chose this particular scene is because I wanted to do a portrait of the clown. I really love the character design of Art the Clown because he looks so different to other clowns that we know, like from It or the Joker. This clown is white and black, doesn't have the red nose, doesn't have the outfit, doesn't really have any color, and has like a little silly hat. The character design is so different from other clowns, but it's really effective in like a simple monochrome creepy way, especially because the clown gets more and more color as the film progresses. And you know, it's a slasher, he gets slashing and then there gets more color. It's a really clever creepy character design. Like, look at this makeup. Obviously, if I make a single error right now, the entire thing is ruined because we're virtually going almost black on white. And this is watercolor. There's only so much you can do to fix mistakes. The movies are a little bit odd. So they are horror films, they are slashers. I would say that the first movie is very much a stereotypical horror. I wasn't a huge fan, I'm gonna be honest. The clown is creepy, does it very well. It's actually played by David Howard Thornton, who funnily enough we drew for the 100 heads challenge, where we drew 100 heads in 10 days straight, the second one. And this time round was only celebrities, requested by the same horror fan, so thank you for sending that one in. And this is what the drawing looks like. Are there any similarities in the face structure there? I feel like there might be a little bit. If you haven't seen that art challenge, I've popped it below in the description. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Celebrities only. I think if we do the 100 heads challenge again, maybe something like characters could be a really fun choice. I don't know. But already, I don't know about you, I'm just looking at this painting like, how is this happening? Like, how quickly does that clown kind of look good? Like, already? I don't know. I'm also in shock. So yeah, the first movie is very much a stereotypical horror. Clown is creepy, clown scares people, slashes. They're in like an abandoned warehouse, but it's a bit of an odd location because it's like on the middle of a street in a city. It's a little bit odd. I was kind of expecting more from it, if I'm honest. But the second and third movie I actually really enjoyed. It's a little bit more supernatural. There is more of a storyline. You find out more about the clown, where it comes from, and there's also the supernatural part, which I think just gives it a little bit more dimension, makes it a little bit more interesting. Something else I actually watched for the very first time recently is Scream. I had never seen Scream. Watched 1, 2, and 3, and I don't know why I'd never watched them before. I think I thought that they would be scarier than they were, but they're actually really fun films. Like, I kind of want to paint Scream. I know we're currently on a horror. Maybe we'll do that a little bit down the line, but I think that would be really cool. And I think possibly the character, the mask with acrylic markers, I think that might look really cool. Oh, and I do want to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters, sketchbook buddies. It really means the world that you want to support me and the channel and help keep making these videos, so thank you. We're now adding red to the clown. I don't think YouTube will like it if I say the words. So we're adding red, we're adding purple to the hat, just to give it a little bit more dimension. We don't want to use Payne's Grey for everything. We need to almost make more color than there is, especially because the character is technically white. So there's a bit of yellow, there's a bit of blue, a bit of pink, a bit of purple. White is the hardest color to make. like, especially with watercolor, because you kind of just leave the page. So you have to picture what other colors might be in there and try and make it work. Still though, I think these shadows need to be darker. Gradually deepen them rather than just going straight in, because it's a lot easier to work light to dark than if you go too dark with watercolor. There's only so much you can do. Next up in the scene series, we've got a little bit of a challenge, which I think is going to be interesting. I don't know if it's going to actually work or not, but we're going to try something. Then we've got a Christmas movie, of course. We've already painted Elf, Home Alone 2, and The Christmas Chronicles was last year. This year we are painting The Grinch. Well, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but not the Grinch, a different character. There are tons of videos in the playlist, so if you haven't checked out the playlist or if you think you might have missed some episodes, why don't you take a look? I think it's the longest running series on the channel. It must be. It's been going for so long. And you can actually get the movies as little stickers on my shop. There's this thing called the mystery minis. You get 2 little stickers at random, so it's like a mystery pack, but for the scene series. I will say I'm not really sure how Art the Clown fits into this. That's why for the last couple of years I've chosen simple horror movies, because something like a scary clown might not really work for a mystery sticker pack. So I think once the latest batch of movies are added to that selection, maybe Art the Clown will stay as request only. So he's there and available, and if you buy a mystery mini sticker pack, then you can request him, but I might have to make him exempt just because he's a little bit too creepy. I really didn't expect this portrait to go like this. Like, whether you have seen the films or not, this turned out good. I did not expect it to go like this. I think it's possibly the best piece from the scene series so far, so it kind of hurts that Art is probably gonna have to be exempt in the sticker packs. A lot of people are afraid of clowns, rightly so. They are scary, they are creepy, and stickers aside, this is really making me want to paint more horror movies. I feel like it's a little bit more freeing. If you are painting a portrait of something that is supposed to be cute or pretty or like beautiful, you have to nail it. Like, you have to get it right. But if you're painting something that is supposed to be messy or ugly, I think it's more freeing, maybe a little bit easier. Maybe that's why this one turned out so much better, because he is supposed to be messy. So all of the splatters and blobs actually work in this instance. And all that's left to do is peel off that tape. Always use a hairdryer. The tape cannot be trusted. This painting is incredibly exciting, and I think the scene series is going to be expanding a little bit more. Let's get some more variety in here. And for now, here is Art the Clown from the Terrifier to celebrate spooky season. If there's anything in particular you'd like to see me paint, pop it down below. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween, and if you're just sat at home watching a horror film, drinking a cup of tea like I am, then that's also okay. Have a lovely evening. I'll meet you back here in a few days' time with a new video. Bye bye.